Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to South Shore Long Beach Lodge. My name is Worshipful Brother Frank Sforza. A quick introduction to myself. I'm three-time past master of this lodge, Worshipful South Shore Long Beach Lodge, number 1126. I'm a past master of Lindbergh Mass People Lodge, number 822. I'm a member of Freeport Chapter number 302, Royal Arch Masons, that meets in Baldwin, New York, and I'm currently sitting as the Royal Arch Captain. I'm a member of North Shore Council, Royal and Select Masters, and I'm also the Deputy Master of Suffolk Council number 76, Royal and Select Masters in Sayville, New York. I'm a member of Trinity Commandery in Queens, and a member and Junior Warden of Nassau Commandery in Oyster Bay, New York. I was 3 times president of the Nassau Masonic District School of Ritual Instruction, and in the ancient and accepted Scottish Rite of Freemasonry in the Valley of Rockville Center. I'm currently serving in my 2nd term as the Most Wise Master of the Long Island chapter of Rose Croix. I'm a member of Kismet Shriners here in Massapequa, Long Island, New York, and I am the founder, first monarch, and the trustee of Lyre Grotto here in Rockville Center. I am the marshal of the Empire State Grotto Association and the grand historian of Grottos International. Now I want to have a big special hello to our brothers from the United Grand Lodge of Australia that are viewing this, and I'm looking forward to one day meeting you guys. So I'd like to get into my lecture. My lecture for the evening is on Masonic etiquette. Now, some of you brothers were with us a couple weeks back when we did our walkabout for our newly raised Master Masons. So tonight is just an extension of that lesson for us to be able to get back into the swing of things. Masonic etiquette, for the most part, is merely good manners and respect for your lodge, its members, its worshipful master, and the convention of Freemasonry in general. Unfortunately, Masonic etiquette, or Blue Lodge etiquette, as it's called sometimes in the United States, is largely unpublished as well as unspoken. Therefore, up until now, it's been more difficult to learn its rules and its nuances. You may study ritual work, degree work, floor work, and know all of Masonry's glorious history, Masonic symbols, jewels, etc. But there is very little written about how to comport yourself so you don't look foolish or be regarded as disrespectful in the lodge room. Some are small things and some are not, but your lodge conduct is continually on display. Few Masonic mentors include a list of proper lodge behavior as they have learned it themselves, incident by incident, and usually learned by them after having made an error or embarrassed themselves and being informed by another member as to correct the Masonic etiquette or the behavior in the situation. Over time, and by watching others and experience, members conform themselves to exhibit proper Masonic etiquette, behavior that is learn our lodge customs. As a new entered apprentice, a fellow craft, or a Master Mason, it is expected that you will exhibit the proper decorum and propriety in observance of the formal requirements which govern behavior in polite societies. Before someone takes you aside to explain to you your errors. During his term in office, the brother who has been elected as the Master is the most powerful member of the lodge. He also shoulders all of its many responsibilities. The worshipful Master has the authority to rule any brother out of order on any subject at any time. He decides what can and cannot be discussed. Should a brother believe that the Master is being arbitrary, unjust, or unfair, or is acting in an illegal manner, he can appeal to the District Deputy Grand Master. If the District Deputy Grand Master agrees the appeal is a valid one, he will forward the complaint to the Grand Master. If, however, that brother insists on speaking after the Master has ruled that he is out of order, he may be committing a Masonic offense. Courteous brethren accept the requests made by a Master to serve on various committees, such as an examination committee, the investigation committee, or other duties as may be determined by the lodge's needs. The following items are not Masonic offenses. They are simply a lack of Masonic etiquette, or in other words, considered to be bad form or bad manners. Number 1, walking between the altar and the worshipful Master. Brethren do not pass between the altar and the east when the lodge is open, because the floor is made of lava. Why? As a courtesy to the Master. It is necessary that the three great lights which shine their eternal light and wisdom upon the master to help him govern the lodge should never be in the shadow, not even for a millisecond, during the processes or processions of an initiation or degree work. Sitting in the east, number 2. Brethren, do not take a seat in the east without an invitation, even if all the other seats are full. Why? While all the brethren within a tiled lodge room are equal to one another and we're on the level, and the officers are servants of the brethren, all lodge officers have worked and studied long and hard for their lodge. It is therefore the master's prerogative to recognize this devotion and their loyalty by inviting distinguished visitors or a special member whom the master wishes to honor to sit in the east with him. In other words, if you were in church, synagogue, or a mosque and the pews were full, you wouldn't go up and sit next to the pastor or the rabbi. Number 3, always be fully dressed. Brethren, do not enter the lodge room either without their apron nor while putting that apron on, not even the tying of its strings. Why? In respect to the formalities of their lodge. Officers expect that the brethren will have the courtesy to enter in fully dressed and are ready for labor. They should not have to wait for a member to be fully dressed, even just tying or adjusting his aprons. To salute that member, it is expected that you will be properly and entirely dressed when you pass by the tiler and enter the lodge room. Number 4, standing when you speak. No man sits while speaking in the lodge room, no matter if he addresses an officer or another brother. Why? All lodge activity is based on each man in the lodge room as being a servant of the brethren. This includes the worshipful master and his officers. While the man himself, who has been elected worshipful master, does not gain any special honor personally as the worshipful master, it is to the worshipful master as the master of the lodge that a member stands to address. It is a simple form of respect, no different than attending a shareholders meeting or a city council meeting. It is expected that if you wish to address the audience, you will stand, come to the sign of fidelity so that all may see who is speaking. Talking. Side talk while a degree is being conferred is considered bad manners. Why? The lodge room is a temple, the great architect of the universe. The brethren within are working to make the best ashlars, stones, for his spiritual temple. Just as it is impolite to speak in church or in synagogue or in a mosque service, so it is improper to distract the officers, the workers in the degree, or to distract a candidate. Talking without asking to do so shows irreverence for the proceedings. God's house is not for social conversation within the lodge room. It is for worship and learning the lesson of the day, which is being taught. Unless you have requested of the master to speak, silence is the rule. This also means no whispering. How? If you have something of interest to say, raise your hand or stand and come to the sign of fidelity. When the master recognizes you, you must stand up and be recognized by the master to speak. To address the brethren, you should say, worshipful master, right worshipful, worshipfuls, wardens, and brethren. If the most worshipful master is in attendance, you should say, worshipful master, most worshipful, right worshipfuls, worshipfuls, wardens, and brethren. And then they bid you to speak. Number 6, speaking. If you wish to offer a predetermined motion or a matter for discussion, you advise the master beforehand, downstairs. Why? Advising the master before the meeting that you intend to bring up a specific motion or topic or a matter of discussion is an important courtesy. You may indeed do without advising him in advance, but the master may have plans or priorities of his own for that meeting, for which your proposed motion or discussion may not easily fit into the allotted time frame of the lodge meeting. As a courtesy to him, his work, and his dedication to the members, it is best to ask him privately beforehand if he'll be able to recognize you to speak your purpose. This saves space for both of you. You will not publicly be refused, and he will not have to seem disagreeable or arrogant in his refusal of your motion. If you wish to speak, stand and come to the sign of fidelity and wait to be recognized by the worshipful master. Number 7, obeying the gavel. You must immediately obey the gavel. Why? Failure to immediately obey the gavel is a grave discourtesy and very poor Masonic etiquette. The master is all-powerful in the lodge, and his word is final. He can put or refuse to put any motion. He can rule any brother out of order on any subject at any time. He can say what he will, and what he will not permit to be discussed. Brethren who think he's unfair, arbitrary, unjust, or acting in an illegal manner do have redress. The Grand Lodge can be appealed to on any such matter. However, in the lodge, the master's gavel, which is his emblem of authority, is supreme. When a brother is rapped down, he should obey at once, without any further discussion. It is very bad manners to do otherwise. In fact, it is perilously close to the line between bad manners and a Masonic offense. Masonic etiquette condemns anyone who does not obey the gavel. Number 8, turning your back. Never turn one's back on the master to address the lodge without first receiving permission from the master to speak and address the lodge. Why? Any debates that are in motion must be conducted using proper Masonic etiquette. One always stands to order when addressing the master's chair. Customs differ in various Masonic jurisdictions as to the method of the salutes. However, some salutes should always be given when addressing the master. In the Grand Lodge of New York, we come to the sign of fidelity. Two brethren, both on their feet, simultaneously arguing a motion, who are facing each other and ignoring the master, is completely unacceptable. Salute. Some lodges, not all, offer salutes to the master. Each of the brethren will salute the master when they enter and when they leave their Masonic lodge room. Some lodges offer salutes to the senior order. Why? The Masonic etiquette of saluting the master is your renewed pledge of fidelity and service. It is your public display of decorum before all other brothers of your obligation. It shows your courtesy and respect for all that the master stands for, and shows that you acknowledge his authority. Salutes should reflect your heartfelt respect for all that for which he stands. The salute to the master is your pledge of honor and service, your publicity shown obligation. A lazy, sloppy, or improper salute is to be Masonically impolite and thus to exhibit poor Masonic etiquette. Number 10 is bowing. Do not enter or leave the lodge room during a ballot, during a vote. Why? It is discourteous to leave the lodge room during a speech, during a degree, etc. There are several natural periods, such as at the end of one section or before the next section begins, or when the master puts the lodge at refreshment unto the sound of the gavel in the east. Then and only then may you leave the lodge room without being considered rude. It is Masonic etiquette that all brethren are expected to vote when requested to do so. Failure to cast your ballot not only results in your failure to share in your duties, but is direct disobedience of the master's request. Number 11 is essentially the same. Voting is actually mandatory. When an issue is put to vote, all brethren should vote. Why? A brother who does not vote is discourteous because he skews the ballot. He becomes the weak link in a strong chain. No matter what the reason for his non-vote, he injures the lodge's ballot, its value, and its secrecy. Failure to vote can injure a lodge's feeling of brotherhood, and by that injury can injure the fraternity. No matter what reason you may privately hold about voting, it is poor Masonic etiquette to fail to vote when requested to do so by the worshipful master. Smoking. There's no smoking in the lodge room. Why? Well, there are lodges which allow smoking during the business meeting and must be guided by the customs of your mother lodge. The ceremonies you take part in and watch are solemn occasions. In most lodge rooms and most jurisdictions, it is considered very disrespectful to smoke while the ceremonies are taking place. Smoking may take place in other parts of your building or outside or during refreshment, but never, ever in the lodge room. Shouldering the work. It is good Masonic etiquette to accept a request made of you in the name of the lodge if it is within your abilities. Why? The lodge is a working beehive of industry. A request made of you from your lodge acknowledges that the lodge trusts you to competently fulfill such a request based upon your knowledge. Correction of verbal errors, correction of verbal cues. Lodge customs state that no one except the worshipful master or his prearranged prompter, usually a secretary, or the star ritualist, may correct any mistake that may occur during the course of the ceremony. And even he does so only when the error is a serious one. Why? It is discourteous to point out others' mistakes in front of the lodge brethren. If you are in possession of a mind which allows you to be able to perform each and every degree and ceremony perfectly, please advise the worshipful master of such that he may take advantage of your services to mentor others. Worshipful master, I'm able to do. That was also a joke. You guys are supposed to laugh at these things. This is terrible. In Australia, they're having a great time. Exhibit good posture. Why? Good posture is necessary while within the lodge room. Laughing, leaning, and relaxed attitudes should be avoided. Poor posture is considered poor Masonic etiquette. No practical jokes nor off-color stories. Why? The great lessons of Masonry, which are taught by our ritual, should never be demeaned by levity or pranks. The lodge room is not a proper location for the telling of practical jokes, pranks, horseplay, nor other off-color stories. Number 17 is the use of proper Masonic names and titles. Why? It is common courtesy to be accurate in speaking a brother's name, so it is proper Masonic etiquette to address officers, members, and visitors by their correct Masonic titles and addresses. I am Worshipful Brother Frank Sforza. Entering the lodge after the meeting has begun. If a brother should enter the lodge after the opening ceremony is underway, he should go to the altar and salute the master. If you must leave the meeting before it's over, the correct Masonic etiquette of departure is that he should salute the presiding master at the altar before he departs. The salute should always be given properly and not in a careless manner. Number 19, all prayers at lodge functions are non-sectarian. Freemasonry is worldwide and holds no sectarian views. Non-sectarian means essentially not sectioned into one specific religion. Freemasonry embraces all religions. A Mason may choose the religion of his choice in his private life, but should be aware and open to the fact that others among the brethren do not necessarily share, nor were they brought up with the same religious dogmas and beliefs that you personally may embrace. Why? Prayers at lodge functions should be strictly in keeping with the Masonic teachings. The Masonic etiquette of offered prayers is that they should never be any expression of a specific sectarian view or a dogmatic creed or of a religious belief. It is a matter of courtesy that all prayers, speeches, and discussions at Masonic affairs avoid sectarian, controversial, and political tones. Prayers are best directed to the Creator, the great architect of the universe, the master architect of the universe, and not towards specific religious teachings such as Jesus Christ, Mother Mary, Muhammad, Jehovah, etc. To do so omits the religions of others within the brethren, within the lodge, which can cause conflict and therefore affect the harmony of the lodge as a whole. It is the spirit of non-sectarianism. We must remember that since the day that our Creator found that man created the Tower of Babel to glorify themselves, it is He who changed man's language into the many diverse languages now spoken over the earth. In doing so, our Creator has many names across the world. Number 20, turn your cell phones off. All cell phones should be turned off before entering the lodge room so as to not disrupt the proceedings. Masonic etiquette summary. Masonic etiquette is simply the rules of good manners which make lodge meetings pleasant for everyone. The position of Worshipful Master in the East occupies the most exalted position in the lodge. A lodge which does not honor its master, no matter how they personally feel about the man himself, lacks Masonic courtesy. The honor conveyed by the brethren in electing him, in other words, the historical traditions and the men who have gone before you, must be given the utmost respect if the traditions of the fraternity are to be observed and proper Masonic etiquette is to be maintained. Masonic etiquette comprises lodge courtesies and proprieties. Good manners imply observance of the formal requirements governing man's behavior in polite society, and a sense of what is appropriate for a person of good breeding with high morals and good taste. The spirit of brotherly love and affection by which we are bound together will be exemplified in our conduct, our carriage, and our behavior at all times. It is my hope that you will use your trowel to cement the cement of brotherly love and affection for the more noble and glorious purpose of exhibiting these rules of Masonic etiquette towards one and all within our lodge. Thank you very much for your time, everyone. Is there any questions? No questions? Thank you very much, everyone. Very well.